JBL Tune 720BT versus Soundcore Q20i. Here's the twist a lot of buyers miss. The Soundcore is actually the cheaper one, but it packs in active noise canceling, transparency mode, and multipoint. The JBL costs more and keeps things simpler, leaning on its sound signature and massive battery. So the real question is whether those extra features matter for how you actually listen, or if you're paying for things you won't use. Let's break it down. Noise canceling. This is where the gap is widest, and honestly, where the Soundcore Q20i earns most of its reputation. It runs hybrid ANC with 4 mics, and independent testing has measured something like 25 decibels of cut across the spectrum. In plain English, airplane hum, bus rumble, the AC unit humming in your office, the dishwasher in the next room, most of it just drops out. The transparency mode isn't going to fool you into thinking the headphones are off. The timbre's a bit artificial, but it's there when you need to hear an announcement or a coworker. The JBL Tune 720BT skips ANC entirely. It leans on passive isolation from the closed cups, and that's actually decent for chatter and high frequencies, but on low rumble, it barely moves the needle. If you commute on transit, work in a noisy open office, or live with kids and a loud TV, the Q20i is solving a real problem the JBL just isn't built to solve. Real talk. At this price, getting functional ANC at all is the kind of thing that used to be reserved for headphones costing twice as much. Sound quality. Here, the JBL actually claws some ground back. Pure bass tuning with the 40mm drivers comes off as more balanced than you'd expect from a budget can, and reviewers who care about how things sound consistently put it a notch above the Q20i out of the box. Punchy lows, decent mids, calls come through clearly. The Q20i is a bass-first headphone, full stop. It can sound a bit muddy and unbalanced if you leave it on defaults, and that's a complaint that shows up across multiple expert takes, not a one-off. The saving grace is the Soundcore app, which gives you a real EQ and 20-plus presets, so you can tame the bass and pull the mids forward in about 30 seconds. JBL has its own app with EQ too, but you're starting from a better baseline.
For music, podcasts, YouTube, casual gaming, both will get the job done. If you're picky about clarity and don't want to fiddle with sliders, the JBL is the cleaner pick. If you love thump and don't mind tweaking, the Q20i scratches that itch.
Comfort. Both are lightweight plastic over-ears, and both have a pattern of comfort complaints you should know about. The 720BT runs about 220 grams, but clamps tighter than most people expect. Larger heads and bigger ears get the worst of it, with the cup sitting on the ears instead of around them, and reviewers consistently mention the 1 to 3 hour ceiling before pressure starts to bug you. The Q20i is a bit roomier. The pads feel more pillow-like in most accounts, and several long-term users report wearing them all day with no real fatigue. The flip side, if you have a smaller head, there are reports of the cups gapping a bit. For glasses wearers and people doing 8-hour work shifts, the Soundcore is the safer call. The JBL feels more like a 2-hour burst headphone. Battery. Both are excellent. This isn't really a contest you lose either way. JBL claims 76 hours, and lab tests back that up. Plus 5 minutes of charging gets you about 3 hours of playback. The Q20i lists 40 hours with ANC on, 60 with it off, and real-world testing comes in close to that. So the JBL wins the raw number, but you're comparing two headphones that you'll charge maybe once a week. What matters more is that with ANC running, the Soundcore still goes longer than a lot of premium models do with it off. Both charge over USB-C. On connectivity, both do multipoint, both pair fast, both have apps with The Q20i runs Bluetooth 5.0, the JBL bumps to 5.3, but in actual use, I doubt you'll notice. Pick whichever ecosystem you like. Build and portability. Both are mostly plastic, both fold, both will survive a backpack. The 720BT has had a couple of feels cheap comments from reviewers. The Q20i feels similar in hand. Neither is a tank, neither is fragile. Call it even. Price and value. They sit in a similar range, with the Soundcore typically landing a touch lower, despite packing in ANC, transparency, and a more flexible app. The JBL is paying for the bigger battery, the slightly cleaner sound profile, and the brand. On discounts, both drop regularly, with the Q20i tending to see more aggressive sales. Two different value propositions. One gives you features, the other gives you a tuning and a battery number that's hard to argue with. Here's the call. There's no single winner, and I'm not going to fake one. These two solve different problems, so your use case decides. If you commute, work in noise, or share space with kids and a loud TV, the Soundcore Q20i. ANC at this price is the smarter buy, and the comfort holds up for long shifts. If you mostly listen in quiet spots and care about cleaner sound out of the box, plus a battery you barely think about, the JBL Tune 720BT wins that lane. The Q20i tends to see more aggressive sales, so worth waiting for a drop. And you? Which one would you pick? Let me know in the comments. Both linked below with the current price.